Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you guys are having a wonderful and amazing day just like me. And today we are going to be going over how to script or how to start scripting in Roblox Studio. Now, this is episode 1 of the basics, so this is going to teach you 5 things. Most are really simple and will take less than a couple seconds, so yeah. First off, how to open up this output bar right here. This is where you'll see what we will be printing later on. All the different types of values that are in all different types of scripting. There are going to be a couple values that we don't go over, like brick color, color values, all that. Those will come in later videos when we start going over properties, over objects, and stuff like that. Next is how to make comments. That's going to be one of the really simple ones. It's just going to take a couple seconds to learn. And we also have printing. I'm going to teach you the 3 different types of things we can print in this output. I'm also going to explain why it's useful. And number 5 is I'm going to explain the different types of scripts. So let's go ahead and start off on how to open up this output bar. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out so I can show you. So over here on this top bar area, you want to go to View and then click on the button below it that says Output. It's probably not going to be right below it, but right here is the button for me that says Output. You just simply click on that. It may be like all the way up here or, just somewhere over here. But, it's going to be somewhere over here and then you can just drag it to wherever you want. You can also drag it to over here if you don't like it being right here. Next thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and explain the different types of values. So first off, let's go ahead and create a script here. You simply, actually, no, I'm not going to create a script yet. We're going to do that later. So there are 4 different types of values that are in all different types of scripting. The first one is true and false. That's also known as a boolean. I'll go ahead and create a script to show you. So a boolean is, like I said, going to be true or false. So true would basically be equal to yes, and false would be basically equal to no. So you can also visualize this in different ways. So you see how there's a check mark right here. We'll just ignore this actual property. But see how this is checked? That would be equal to true. And see how now it's unchecked after I clicked on it? That would be equal to false. So it's just simply clicking on a check button, except you just type in the word true or false. Next thing we have is an integer. That's simply a number. This number can usually expand to however you want, or to however many digits you want, but there is a maximum number in Roblox. I'm not sure what it is. I'm pretty sure whoever made the maximum number just spammed their keyboard or something. You can easily get the maximum number by doing math.max. This will print the maximum value. If it is showed in like the output bar or in a text label or stuff like that, it'll show as INF, which stands for infinite. It's not really infinite because if you click on it, like if there's an infinite value in say one of these boxes right here in the properties of an object, then you could just click on it and it'll be equal to the number that they set. But yeah, so that is the integer value. Next value we have is the string value. That is defined by quotes. And then in these quotes, you can just type in whatever you want. You can type in numbers, you can type in letters. And these quotes are, these quotes are usually usually only have text. Now, another way you can visualize this, as I'm doing for all these, is have you ever read a book and then a character in the book says something? You see that it is surrounded by quotes and then there's text in those quotes saying what they said. That's kind of like here. We surround the text or the string value or whatever, the text in quotes. You can add in spaces, all that. You can really add in anything in a string value. Next thing we have is an object value. This is also known as an instance value. that is a value that defines an object in the Explore tab. So it's pretty simple to type in there. It's pretty simple to type in object or instance values. You simply do game. That will immediately define everything in the Explore tab. We can then do dot workspace. That would define everything in the workspace tab. And let me actually go ahead and create a part in here because we are going to start editing some stuff with instance values later on. And there, yeah, so once we do game.workspace, which defines the workspace, we can then do dot part. Oops, did not mean to do that. We can then do dot part, which defines this specific part in the workspace. Now, if you had it as a different name, then you do the different name. So say if I name this hello, then this would no longer be game.workspace.part. This would be game.workspace.hello. But the class name of it will be a part because that's technically what it is. It's just with a different name. So that's it for all the values. Let me go and show you how to make comments. Comments are pretty simple. You can easily just do a double dash right like that. Just do 2 dashes. You can do space. You don't have to do a space, but I usually like to do a space. And you can type in whatever you want. Now, that is how to do a simple one-line comment. So like as you can see here, if I go to the next line, it will no longer be a comment. And also another thing, you can type in anything in comments. It does not matter. But the thing is, yeah, so the thing is with comments is they will be ignored by the script. So if you somehow accidentally type a line of code you want to type, that line of code will not be run if it's in a comment like this. Now let me go ahead and show you how to do a multi-line comment. So it's simply the double dash, but then we actually add in square brackets. So just like that. And then we can just do enter, we can create multiple lines. We don't have to do a dash for every single line. But after these in square brackets, it will not be a comment anymore. So that's it for comments like that. Next, let's go ahead and go to printing. So it's very simple to print things. All we have to do is just do print, and then in parentheses, we type in what we want to print. This can print basically anything. We're going to do a string value, which is one of our 4 simple things in the 4 basic values. So let's go ahead and type in hello world, and then we'll just go and put an exclamation mark. Now, if we run this, if you want to know how to run it, you can click on this arrow and then click on run, or click F8 on your keyboard. Just click on run, and then in the output right here that we pulled up earlier, you'll see that it prints out hello world. You can also click on that and see what script and what line it was printed from. Let me go and show you this. So this dash, see how it says server? That means it got printed from a server script. Again, we're going to go over these different types of scripts in a second. And then we also have the name of the script. This name of the script is script right here. And then it's going to say colon and then 1. That means that in this script right here, this because that's the name of the script, that means that this thing got printed from line 1 right here. So if we did like enter 2 times, see how this is line 3 now? Let's go ahead and stop this and then run this again. You can see that'll say script colon 3. So yeah, simple as that. Now, you can print a lot of stuff using the print function. So you can print a number, and numbers can be in quotes, but they don't have to be. So, oops, did not mean to do that. Let's go ahead and click on the run thing. So as you can see here, it'll just print 10 like this, but because this is a number or an integer value, you could just type in a regular number like 10. But now you can't do space and keep adding in multiple things. You would have to do another line saying print, and then it would print another line in here. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and run this, and it should print 10. Yep, just like that. Now, you can also print math equations. Now, you can print the math equation itself or the answer to a math equation. So, say if we wanted to print 10 minus 5, that would simply be equal to 5. So, if we said print 10 minus 5, This should print 5, so let's go ahead and run this. And as you can see right here, it prints 5. But now, what if we want to print the math equation ourselves? Well, we can simply surround the math equation in quotation marks, which would give a string value, and that string value would be printed. And because the string value is 10 minus 5, it would print out 10 minus 5. So that's it for printing stuff like that. Let me go and show you the 3 different types of prints. So first off, we had the print as you saw there. It's just print and then parentheses. But we also have another one called warn. So warn is more of a high priority thing to print. Now, it doesn't mean it prints first, but it means you can see it better than all the other prints. Because as you can see, this text is not like anything special. It's just simply text there. So let's go ahead and do warn in parentheses, and then we'll just print out hello world. And then let's go ahead and run this. And as you can see right here, this prints out hello world, but in a more high priority tone in a way. Because as you can see, it's now a different color and it's bolded. So the next, and also you can also do a warn with like 10 minus 5 and stuff like that too. It basically works the same thing with print and stuff like that. It just makes it look more high priority. Now the last thing is error. Now an error is something you would usually see whenever you have an error in your script. But if you had a module script, again, I'm going to explain a module script later. If you had a module script and you had like a custom error, like say if you ran a function in your module script on the local side, so the client side, but it's meant to be ran from the server side, you could just put this thing that says error, and then you could put like in quotes, this function can only be ran from the server. So that would, be ran from a server script like this. So let's go and stop this. Let's click on run. And this is what an error looks like. So an error defines the location of the script. So this says server script service dot script. So let's go ahead and go there. Server script service dot script right here. This is the script. And then it's going to say colon and then the line number. And so let's go ahead and go to there. And as you can see on line 1, we have the error thing that will print out. And then it'll do colon and then whatever the thing was that was in the quotes. So this says this function can only be ran from the server, just like we put in these quotes. For the error, I believe, I believe you can still do like simple equations, but I don't see why you would do that. So yeah, it would print out 5, stuff like that. But I don't see why you do that. Maybe if you have, a specific desire to do that, I guess. Next thing we have is the different types of scripts. So first off, let's go ahead and go over the different types of scripts. Like I said, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. And because you already saw what the regular script was. That is a server script that is used for running to everyone in the server. It's kind of complicated, but later on in these episodes, it'll make more sense on how a server script works. Basically, it's just a script that runs in the server. Next thing we have is a local script. So a local script is is a thing that only gets ran by a client. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with a local script. So if we hover over it, you can see that it says a script that runs on the client, not servers. And local scripts can only be run when parented under a player's backpack. So you could do that in a tool that goes in the starting toolkit. What's it called? Yeah, starter pack. Because everything in the starter pack goes in the player's inventory, stuff like that. So you could just do that, and it would immediately go into a player's backpack. Next, a player's character model. A player's character model. You can go to starter player and go to starter character scripts and add in a local script in there. That would also insert it in the character's model, or a player's character model, whatever you want to say. A player's player GUI, that would go in starting GUI because that would, or starter GUI. I don't know what it's called. I think it's called starter GUI. So starter GUI would be going into the player GUI for when they load in. We'll get into GUIs and all that later on. A player's player script, so that also kind of goes with the starter character scripts and starter player scripts, except player scripts have a specific folder in the player's definition or the player's module. Let me go and show you what that looks like. So here, if we go to players, you can see me right here, and then right here, this is where all the player scripts would be. Now we have all this because this was built in by Roblox. This is all the chat scripts and movement scripts and all that. So yeah, and then the last but not least, this would go in replicated first. So replicated first is kind of hard to explain, but in a simple way, replicated first is the things that happen first right as the games load in, like if there are any scripts in there. And we can put in local scripts in there because that local script will immediately go to the player that all the players that are loading in and run it from there automatically right as they load in. So it is kind of hard to explain, but you'll see what replicated first does later on. So that's it for the local script. Let's go and go to the module script. This is honestly one of my favorite scripts. A module script is basically just a table of a lot of stuff. So, uh, if we were to add in an item here, we would do square brackets and then quotation marks. And in these quotation marks right here, we would enter in the name of the value. So we'll say print text. And then outside of these square brackets, we could put it equal to whatever we want. We could put it equal to like 41. We could put it equal to another string value called like hello world, stuff like that, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and have a string value called hello in here. And yeah, that's going to be it for the module scripts. I will show you how to put stuff in module scripts later. But module scripts are basically just modules, but in script style, kind of like how JSON is. If you don't know what JSON is, then you could just ignore it. But if you do, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, that would be simple for the mod. That would be simple for the module script. Uh, and then again, I'm gonna just teach you more about module scripts later on. So it looks like that is going to be it. Stick around for episode 2 because in episode 2 we're going to be showing if statements and how parts like this work, like how you can edit properties and stuff. So yeah, and probably more things. I'm just not sure yet. But episode 2 will be posted in 24 hours of this video being posted. So stick around for that, like I said. And I'll see you guys next time. Please subscribe and like if you really want to. And peace.